This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
His finishing maneuver, the Avalanche, which was also at different times called the Body Avalanche, is specifically described as a body press where the wrestler charges into an opponent in the ring corner without leaving their feet and crushes them into the turnbuckle. I guess the big difference between this and a stinger splash is Sting would jump into the corner. So basically this is just Bundy, easy for me to say, running you into the corner. And it feels like that should have been pretty safe, but I guess there's a bunch of stories of Bundy actually hurting people with this move. What did you hear of the Body Avalanche? Did this feel like a dangerous finish to you? On the surface, it doesn't seem that way.
No, it's pretty good. And if Bundy likes you, I'm sure you'd be fine. And if he didn't, sometimes he probably took an extra step before he stopped himself when he came into that corner. So it probably all just depended on Bundy and what he thought of you.
Well, I hope he thought highly of everyone that we know. I saw in a lot of my research, guys would say that Bundy had a reputation for being stiff. Not only Hogan, but Hillbilly Jim, and believe it or not, on his much later run, Duke the Dumpster Drose, all said that Bundy could be a stiff performer. Is that something you heard before, or not so much? Was it simply based on the old Andre rule of if he liked you, he wasn't? Or what's the thing?
I think it depended on the opponent pretty much.
I got you. Saturday night's main event, number 10, goes down on March 14th. King Kong Bundy would defeat Jake the Snake by DQ in 6 minutes and 14 seconds. And now it's time to talk about WrestleMania 3. It's the biggest audience that Bundy would ever perform in front of. It was a huge deal and also a bit of a controversy. Towards the end of the bout, he delivers a legitimate, pretty stiff looking body slam to Little Beaver. And he followed that up with an elbow drop, which the little person sold. But Little Beaver's back was legitimately hurt, and this was his last match. I know you weren't there at the time, but this is what famous tele-wrestler. Did you hear the story of Bundy not taking care of Little Beaver? And was there any heat on him for the way this all went down?
No, I really never did. And to the contrary, it was something that put Bundy kind of back on the map for squashing the little people in the match. And it was tremendous. And from the folks that were there, from the office to Beaver to Bundy, they all kind of pointed to it with, holy shit, that was controversial. It wasn't that great. So a few times I was around Beaver, never expressed anything of bitterness or anything towards that at all, to my knowledge.
Just a few days in September of 85, Jimmy Hart would trade King Kong Bundy to Bobby Heenan in exchange for Adrian Adonis and the Missing Link. Back in the 80s, manager trades are kind of a big deal in wrestling. They would trade or even sell wrestler contracts like Ted DiBiase. And this is just fun stuff. Do you miss this era of, hey, we're trading? I mean, cause here's the thing. As a little kid, I think we would make the correlation that, oh, this is like baseball cards. But as an adult, you're like, or more like a sports franchise. One team traded a player to another team. Why don't we see or hear that anymore, do you think?
I don't know. I think that people felt in some ways that it wasn't real, but look at the facts. I mean, baseball copied wrestling and started doing trades, and then basketball and football, they started doing trades after they saw how it was done in wrestling. So, you set the trend, and then after a while you kind of outgrow it.
I'll be honest. I grew up on Bundy being managed by Bobby Heenan. So that's my preference. Did you have a preference with Heenan or Jimmy Hart with Bundy?
I thought they were both great in their own way, but I think that in order to be serious and to be that guy to go with Hogan, it needed to be Bobby at that time.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.